Hey guys, I've got a project here I thought I'd share with you. Not my normal thing I usually work with, but I do mess with small engines here and there. Had a friend of mine ask me if I'd be interested in a generator that he was going to haul to the scrapyard. So I took a look at it and I said, hey, you know, if I can get it running and can make something out of it, then I'll have a generator because I don't have one. This turns out to be a 1979 Briggs Stratton engine on a Dayton generator. The let's see here, on the code here 7902, it's supposed to indicate 1979, built in the month of February. So it's 3500 watt. I did get it running the other day. We're missing a few parts where someone had tried to get it running, just to make sure that it was a viable engine. I had to make a little petcock and fuel filter because the old glass sediment filter that came on it was missing, so I could get a fuel line to the carburetor. The points had a little bit of corrosion on them, and that's why it wouldn't fire. So I pulled the flywheel off, got that going, got some ignition to it, and the rest of it, it ran. I was able to run the drill on it. One of the neat features about this generator is you can actually use a 12-volt battery to crank it. It's got a battery positive right here, and then you put your grounding cable here for your negative post for your battery, and then you've got a start button. You can push that, and it'll actually use the generator motor to crank the engine, so you don't have to pull crank it. If it's being real stubborn to crank, that's actually a pretty good way to get it going. So anyway, over here I have the carburetor and a couple other bits and pieces. I got the crankcase filter and pipe pulled off. I'm gonna have to replace this because it's got a tear in it. But that's the carburetor, and what was really cool when I pulled it apart was this was the float bowl, and it was as clean as I have ever seen one. And I don't know if that's because someone else had pulled it off and tried to clean it thinking that they could get it running before, but one of the things I discovered was it was actually missing the I'm not sure which idle jet that is right there, but either way it was missing that guy. So I had to order one of those. I went ahead and ordered a whole kit that has everything hopefully in it that I need. And so once I get those parts in, I'll put the carburetor back together and put the engine back together. I'll put the carburetor back on the engine anyway. The engine is together. And it should run. A couple other little things that I'm going to have to do that I haven't gotten to yet because I'm going to have to fabricate something. This little guy here is a electric solenoid that sat right over the top of the carburetor, and when you flip the switch here from idle to full speed, that solenoid would kick down and increase the speed of the engine so that you'd have full power. I think the engine was designed to generate, when it's rated at 3,600 RPM. So I figure once I get the carburetor back on, get it all running right, make sure this solenoid works. Hopefully it does. I haven't tried it yet. Then I would get to fabricating the bracket to mount that up with. A couple other things that were missing on the engine were a couple of head bolts right here, where they had pulled those bolts out and took that bracket off. Little things like that, but for the most part, I mean, it's a really good engine. Oil's clean, doesn't smoke, cranked up real good. Gas tank's in excellent condition on the inside. There's no crud, no corrosion. I doubt you can really see down in there, but I do have some gas in it right now. But I mean, really, it's an old generator, it's a heavy generator, but hey, free is free. And if I have a power outage and need to back up a couple of refrigerators or a freezer, I'll have something to do it with. And can't beat that with a stick. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I'll give you an update on it once I get carburetor back on it and you guys can hear it run. Have a good day.